I'm at WCC. My coach.
Oh, yeah. I thought, yeah. I didn't know he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, no, he talked to me about that. He was like, dude, maybe you should do this. I was like, that does sound kind of fun.
Western Michigan doing the unthinkable.
Huge potential
He
here.
gets one, he gets two.
That is beautiful, beautiful front to back right there.
Up 3-1 Eastern, looking.
Welcome back
Oh,
to the
yeah.
EMU Esports live stream. Today we are going to be watching the League of Legends roster play in the NACE playoffs against Grandview. My name is Ryan Bodery, aka Waffle Pig.
I'm Nolan, aka Kitty Cat Cutie.
And yeah, this is going to be kind of a different series than the ones we've been watching. This was for getting top 3 in their conference. They are afforded a spot in the NACE playoffs and are going to be playing against schools from all over and for a bit higher rank as well. So they're definitely excited today. The players are. I was talking to them before the game, and they are looking forward to sort of seeing the different level of competition that's sort of outside of their geographical sphere. But before we get into that, we should talk about Eastern's upcoming schedule. So we've got a lot to look forward to. Obviously, as I mentioned today, Eastern League is playing Grandview. And on April 1st at 8:30, the Valorant team is going to be going up against Winthrop. April 2nd, we got EMU Smash playing against UT Dallas. April 6th, Overwatch is going to be playing Western Michigan. And then we've got many more events further in the future.
As we go into our players here, Zero is still missing. That's the one I was talking about earlier. But well, we're Challenger, Inferno. I didn't realize Inferno was Challenger.
Yeah, I saw that
And,
announcement.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Congrats to him. But yeah, we're up against a team of full challengers this week, so it's gonna be a rough, not rough, but tough. But I think they can do it.
Yeah, I think definitely, especially with what we saw against arguably one of the stronger teams in our conference, Ball State, the last time I was casting for sure. The EMU players, they've been together for a while now. They have very good coaching behind them. They have a very good community behind them. And, they have some pretty consistent performers on the team who pretty much no matter who you put them in front of, they're going to show you something.
Mm-hmm.
So I am hoping that, the sort of old guard, Drywall Boxer and Lance Romance, and, maybe even Zero, knock on wood, sort of show that, they're comfortable enough playing together that and there's no level of competition that will get to them. They can always sort of put their best foot forward and give us plays to get excited over. So that's really what I'm looking for today. I am looking to see another insane Lance Romance performance, as he tends to put up. I am looking to see some really good jungle solo lane dives and side lane plays. Eastern, the team just has a lot of exciting things to watch for, and I trust them to give us some good League of Legends gameplay. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing today.
And I'll tell you something. I'm really hoping they pick Lissandra today.
Ooh.
I don't know what it is about it. I'm just feeling Lissandra.
You're feeling it? I will say, actually, that's a real thing. I have a rule because I play a lot. We were just talking about this before the stream. I play a lot of ranked flex, but all my friends aren't very good. And obviously the matchmaking can get kind of rocky, where my sort of silver-ish, silver to gold friends have to play against, diamond players or higher. But the one strategy that always works is you play by Freljord rules. If your team picks more champions with ice in their character design, you can equalize anything. Mostly just because CC is really powerful. And, it's like the reason lower level players playing Malphite, it looks pretty much the same, is because he's always going to have that knockup.
Yeah.
So if you just do your whole team like that, so your bot lane is Ash Braum, you get Lissandra mid or top, and you get Sejuani, yep. Just as many icy Freljord guys as you can. So that's, I do actually think, higher CC, earlier game dive, things that have reliable, consistent setup are the kinds of things you want in this environment. And I actually wouldn't be surprised to see, if not Lysandra specifically, something along those lines, because that really does kind of fit Eastern's style of, you know, just creating a consistent threat in the side lane.
Right.
It's got a similar sort of delivery or like concept strategically to something like, I don't know, Ori Nocturne that we've seen him play a million times, or, you know, I mean, you see these, most competitive teams play these sorts of things. So it is definitely a strategy. The only downside is the last time I tried to tell my friends to do Freljord, my brother panic locked Olaf top lane, which was technically correct.
Right.
But not what I meant.
That's
He
what I
doesn't
was
stun
thinking
anything.
too.
And yeah, so he got like 3 CS a minute, and he dropped like 11 deaths to a Darius. And then we won because I was Ashe, and he can't beat the Freljord.
Well, yeah,
so
Freljord, it's strong.
don't get me going on Ashe, the Frost Archer guys. I mean,
Well, yeah, we heard Zero's banned off Ashe.
No, he's gonna. I think nobody's ever banned off Ashe. Any patch, any player, Ashe is not off the table. Because, like, I mean, again, it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not. There's reliability to, you know, to simpler game plans centered around hard crowd control that you can just, you know, press whenever you need it, right when you want it. And that's what Ashar is. Obviously, she slows. So I think, again, high utility especially is going to be good. I am interested to see what kind of draft we opt for today.
Ashe is, yeah.
Yeah, we got all our players here warming up, it would seem. There was some doubt whether all 5 were going to make it in person. They sort of got in here right at the buzzer. I do want to note Zero, who almost got here late, does appear to have a completely empty drink. And I do think I see the golden arches on that cup, so that does mean he hit the drive-through and finished most of it before getting here. So definitely something to keep in mind going into this game.
Excellent detective work there, I gotta say.
Especially given that, you know, digesting anything, you know, kind of takes a lot of energy away. We have all had food comas, eating things much later than McDonald's. So I'm interested to see what kind of gameplay Zero puts up under the influence.
Under the influence of Mickey D's. Well,
no, I'm sure he ate something a bit lighter.
I mean, it looks like he's got a Coke in there. That's got to have some caffeine.
Yeah, I think that's maybe let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Something we don't do enough for our good friend in the 80 carry role, and say that he just went to the drive-thru for the Coke, so he could be energized for this game.
Right. He was tired before this.
I find that easy to believe.
Yep.
I know I am.
I am very tired.
But these games are going to wake us up.
This is interesting. I don't often like watch people warm up, but now that I'm seeing Shambo practices hooks on the walls, I think I might have to start warming up.
No, I mean, I played on this team, you know, last year, or was it last year? Yeah, I played with Steven, Drywall Boxer, as support. So I was sitting next to him in that very spot. I was sitting where Zero sat, and he was always sitting where Shambo now sits. And yeah, I got to watch him do a lot of warming up on Nautilus and, you know, Rel, and doing all these like flash cancels.
Wait, speaking of Rel, I've been meaning to play some Rel mid.
Rel, say more about that.
Well, let's just say it's a little pick I've been cooking up. After completely inting, I don't know, 5 or 6 games on Rammus mid, I decided that Rel was a better pick.
You might be onto something. I might be careful though about leaking WCC trade secrets on the stream.
Oh, no.
Because they're going to start target banning that if they know you've been cooking it.
Oh,
so you got to be careful about that.
Hopefully, you know, they won't look into Eastern team.
Yeah,
you know, if they're looking for a WCC.
Hopefully somebody will sneak it under the radar.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out if it's best to go like Leandre's or like just full tank or full support. I really I haven't figured it out yet.
I'm sure you'll be able to find a dedicated community of people who are putting Rel in places she shouldn't go. They seem to really like doing that.
Let's back up. Let's back up. I don't know if I would say shouldn't go.
I'm an open-minded guy. I understand the impulse. I've definitely been. I was a guy who, when there was like a role mastery system. I tried to do a challenge where I got an S+ in every role on my main Lucian. So I was like cooking up different builds for like top lane, jungle. The jungle one was easy because it was that patch with the what was it called? Like the Blood Razor. It was that like max HP on hit item. You know, it was like it was at the same patch that Ezreal could do the green smite item, and it gave him an AoE lit, like sheen.
Okay.
Remember so Ezreal mids were doing that. So I did like a jungle Lucian where he was using the red version of the item with the on hit, the one that like was made for Master Yi. I think it was called Blood Razor or something.
I didn't realize it did that.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of it pretty fast because it was cringe.
Was it before they had the jungle pets?
Yeah, it was before that. I think it would have been season 4. Because like end of
season 4?
End of season 4, or like pre-season 5. Pre-season 5.
You gotta tell me it's this.
I thought it was more recent. I forget. Yeah, I forget I'm old. I forget I'm old, and as I say this, my kneecaps are groaning at me, and I'm withering to dust now that I realize how long it's been. Because the thing I remember the item from was this sort of infamous. It was an infamous patch for Warwick. I don't know if you ever heard about the like infamous 420 Warwick patch. Because this item did max health damage on hit. And so, the red smite, you would smite them and it would like make you do a bunch of bonus true damage based on how many times you procced on hits too.
Oh, really?
So he would...
Wait, that's so interesting.
And it was old pre-rework Warwick. So he had his ult was just a point and click where he blinks
I recently learned about that. That was so funny.
Yeah. So I remember, okay, fun fact, younger me in season 4, I was playing a normal with my friends. I remember this vividly. I was playing Vayne, and somebody was playing this patch's Warwick. And on respawn, he would do the smite and the ult, and the whole reason it was infamous, and he had like a 58% win rate or something, was because he would smite you and ult you, and it would kill you from full, no matter what. No matter who you were, almost, because it was just proccing a bunch of max HP on hit over and over, and then a bunch of true damage.
Yeah.
So I remember I was playing on a laptop as young me did. I got smite ulted for I want to say the 22nd or 3rd time. So I was about 4 and 23. And I closed my computer. And I did disconnect from that match. And then my friends won 4v5.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I guess once I disconnected, the Warwick didn't have anything left to do, and they kind of got lost. I don't know. I wasn't there. I stood up and I went outside.
Not your proudest moment, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of growing up with League is learning to forgive yourself. And I forgive myself for playing against patch 420 Warwick. It wasn't my fault.
Dude, I was so shocked. So it was like yesterday or the day before where I first saw Warwick's old ult.
Really?
And I was so shocked because I was watching him like just teleport over a wall. It's so funny. He's just on you now.
I do think I may have heard a proper draft sound. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did hear that too.
Are we getting into a real draft soon? I'm excited to see some real champ picks, as fun as it has been discussing old champions and fake mid laners.
Okay, fake.
No, I'll give her a chance.
Let's lay off the fake word.
No, I'll give her a chance. I mean, people play all kinds of tanks mid, and they play a jungle.
Well, let me just say, Rammus should not be one of those tanks played mid.
Yeah, I've seen Lance pull out the Rammus mid and drop 11 deaths. So
have you really?
I mean, it wasn't in a tournament game, but I've seen it.
That is shocking to me.
When you play with these players, you've been through some stuff together. Yeah, we are properly in the tournament draft here. Already looks like we've got Ambessa and Akali bans. We've got Nunu and Akshan bans. These all seem very targeted to me.
Yeah, so that's EMU on the right.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. So it's interesting to see EMU sort of seeming to target the these are champions we like to pick, but I'm sure they've done scouting and they've seen that this team has some pretty strong carry potential from their solo lanes. Gonna ban that Varus, obviously an insanely consistent pick. You're not blue side, you don't want them clicking on that. You
I'm
are more
surprised
comfortable assuming they're gonna click on Yuna or Orianna, something consistent.
I'm surprised about this Nunu ban. I wouldn't expect a champ like Nunu to
surprised about all three
and
of their bans, to be
Akshan too,
honest.
actually, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't super duper know about what kind of scouting they did to find these champions. Looks like we are going to get LeBlanc into the Orianna right out of the gate. That's the kind of thing I wanted to see. Our consistent player on his OG champion. And Drywall Boxers, Skarner. That is the kind of thing we want to see here.
Wait,
into
it's
looking
a
at
wrap.
Corki or Ash, doing a little callback. These are probably some of the more consistent blind pick AD carries, the things I was predicting to see on B1 there.
I like an Ash here. I think the potential with Ori combos.
I think they are
really
having a similar thought. Oh, but they're going to go for Caitlyn. See, it looks like they are, worried about some kind of counter pick. Although I do think both of these picks are pretty safe. I just want something with a bit more lane presence. Caitlyn Karma will give you that presence. Interested to see. EMU has full info now, though, on the bot lane. So they're good to sort of counterpick at will before we see more bans.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't pick jungler here.
Yeah, well, we already have our jungler. I'm surprised they didn't because the Orianna, we are no strangers to the Orianna. We're no strangers comboing it with a couple of our, more classic jungle picks, something like a Jarvan or a Nocturne. I mean, ideally Nocturne. I do notice EMU's leaving that combo up. Just kidding. They know better.
Not.
They've played that. They must have played that 100 times. So there's no way they would, fall for that.
I would be shocked if they didn't ban Nocturne here.
Yeah. I would have been very surprised too. But it does look like EMU facing down a pretty strong draft here. Caitlyn Karma in the bot lane. The very consistent Orianna, who's flexible with a lot of different team comps. But EMU isn't too sad. It looks like they've got just about all the comfort picks that you could have asked for. Shambo's on Blitzcrank. I know he's always itching to play Engage, like Nautilus or something. And against a comp like this, you really do need to be able to hook them. They have the poke, they have the range, and they will get the prio if you don't, pick something to make them sweat. Yeah, looking at the Yunara, pretty standard. There's only so many 80 carries we see in game ones.
Right.
And that's one of the few. Honestly, the Caitlyn was a breath of fresh air. I thought it was just going to be, Yunara, Varus, maybe Corki.
Yeah, but I will say with the Blitzcrank, Yunara in the bot lane versus Caitlyn Karma, it's really easy to gank, I think.
Vi, pretty good pick. Very similar functionality to the Nocturne Ori. And it looks like they're going to opt for a blind Fiora or Quinn. I guess they want some more carry pressure.
This is a troll.
You think it's a troll? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a carry champ. The Quinn was a troll.
The Quinn and the Fiora blind.
But yeah, they want more damage. They have very strong lanes. But EMU is very comfortable looking at Galio.
Is this looking like a Galio top? Oh, into the Rumble.
Or would it be... Okay, they're going to opt for Sion. Okay, Sion Rumble.
That's an interesting hover.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they had a pick like that.
Very interesting draft. I do think it looks like Grandview does have the edge in some lanes here. Definitely the Caitlyn Karma is going to be securing a lot of priority and should be able... All the lanes can provide pretty decent gank assist for a Vi. So I think both...
Well, I think, Skarner's going to have a really easy time ganking bot. And especially he's not going to want to path tops towards his Scion. So I feel like this could be potentially very volatile for Caitlyn Karma when
Yeah.
they're going to want to be consistently pushed in.
Yeah, and the
Or
truth is, now that
pushing in.
we've shown, you know, we've got this sort of Scion top lane as a pretty comfortable weak side pick, and we have, you know, the very potent gaking jungler in the Skarner. They have Vi, who I would tend to think really wants to prioritize getting her level 6, especially when she's trying to combo with an Orianna, who
Right.
wants to do the same thing. So really, all eyes are going to be on this bot lane. Can we catch them sleeping and hit a hook at the wrong time? Can Skarner get a gank set up before the Caitlyn Karma sort of, you know, space out and chip down this Yunara Blitzcrank? It's going to be, I think, very difficult for the side of Eastern. It definitely takes a lot of trust as a bot lane to pull off this sort of lane matchup. But I do think, you know, we also do have sort of the winning. We have that LeBlanc. It's been sitting there the whole time at the top of the draft. That can really help threaten. So I do think we are going to get a pretty exciting match here, I'd expect, given these comps, given the amount of sort of damage and the desire for priority, especially in like the bot lane. I think the bot lanes are going to be pulling attention.
I'm really excited for this.
Hearing some excitement. We might want to even cut away from the player cam, which I'm noticing does not have the proper delay, and we can kind of see the gameplay. Yeah.
Right.
So I think that seems a bit more kosher. So regardless, though, I do think, and it does sound exciting, we are going to see some very interesting snowballing one way or the other. And again, this team is very strong. This team is very strong, much stronger as a team and as individual players than the competition we've sort of played against thus far. So what I'm sort of looking for from Eastern is just, can they still play the game the way they've practiced it? You know, it's very difficult against players that good to play that discipline.
In that sense, either way, it's going to be a learning experience for them because these are all challenger players, so they're almost like robots. Like they've the most minute details.
They've definitely got some games. They're practiced for sure. If to put a word on it.
Right. So this is going to be a tough, and I feel like it's really going to provide a lot of opportunities for Eastern to go back and see what could have gone differently in this almost perfectly played game of League.
Yeah, and I will say the team did get to have a similar experience to this last year, where they played series in the I forgot what it was called, but it was like the open qualifiers for like the Challenger series. You know, like Double Lift put together a team, so it was like Double Lift pulled out there. That thing they put together a team for. Yeah, we played in that.
Wow. Okay.
Obviously, we were a much lower seed, so we played a different high seed. So you know, they get to sort of play these like just below pro like challenger teams and sort of see what that looks like, see how the matches play out and what sort of things they do.
Yeah, and
how our strategy sort of pans out against them.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, it was really fun. And I mean, the truth is, you know, EMU, they know what they're doing. They know how to play. I mean, they know how to play the game, and they have the practice. Even if, you know, obviously we're all students first, players second here.
Right.
But it's definitely interesting to see. I remember the only sort of distinct memory I have is that they all flashed at like the same time every time. So it was just that level of like trust that really shocked me, where like it was so clear that their voice comms were like immediately all acted on by every person on the team.
Right.
Because all of their engages were like the same frame. Azir's flash and Skarner's flash would like come out, and we, you know, just sort of get womboed.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, like I wonder just how many games these players have together, especially on in a team in the same room.
Right,
It
yeah.
must be just an insane level
Yeah,
of
I
commitment.
mean, yeah, I was talking to them. They've been talking to me sort of between practices, and they're, they're scrimming a lot. They're scrimming 3 days a week, and they had obviously matches at least, one time or once or 2 times a week in the regular season. So it's definitely, they're used to playing with each other, and they're used to, executing their game plans as they discuss. But we are going to see how they can pull through. Already, as predicted, this bot lane getting kind of dicey with the low health bars and the early level 2 from the Caitlyn Karma. It was always going to kind of be, difficult. And obviously, ultimately, they were always going to get priority over these early waves and just put down that poke onto the Shambo's Blitzcrank. And this is sort of the, but a big crash threatened here onto, wait a minute, it's Sion. He just does that, guys. Relax. But First Blood is going to be going over to Rumble,
Wave
which
is almost looking...
it does not hurt.
I don't like the wave state that top is left in here, though.
Yeah, but with
Pushing away
teleport,
from...
it could have been more oop, oop, and that oop. Oh, there we go. Looks good. Lancer Mance going early, and he's level 3. Doesn't quite have the... Oh, he's going to flash out just a bit too late. Get taken down in the mid lane. So that's solo kills in 2 lanes. And as we say that, they are ready for draw boxer. But Shambo hits a big hook. Yunara picks up the kill onto Leleo's Caitlyn. And they are going to try to get revenge, though. Vi hitting the Q fully charged. Drywall Boxer is here to respond in kind. Are they going to be able to chase down this
Looks
Vi?
like they will be.
Drywall Boxer
And
gets 1. Karma's playing aggressive.
Can they get the Karma?
Oh, Karma trying to get him low here. Really think she just wants to get out. But she is going to fish for kills as, again, just as you said, that wave state going to be creating problems for Inferno in this top side. He does have that D shield. He's got some regen and magic resist. So, he's trying to just do his job.
Really nice chain from Lance here.
Lance trying to do the same thing, trying to show, hey, look, you're not too bad in lane, kid, but I've been doing this a while. I will say, could have gone worse. I am also noticing 2 deaths on the Caitlyn.
When did that happen?
I don't know. I don't think I was there for the second one or the first one. So that was actually her second death. But again, just given the nature of the lane and the timing of these plays, the GVU roster has kind of has it all mapped out. They're comfortable with these game plans, so they're executing on them and building the CS leads that you are supposed to build when you draft lanes like this. Gonna try to build another one up here. Rumble taking a huge chunk out of the Inferno Scion. But Inferno doing a very good job keeping up on the CS there, taking an Ignite, taking a potentially good death. But again, he's always going to get that wave. Really, the people wishing they had this death passive are going to be the EMU bot lane, who are still, again, forced to play this really perma-low health Yunara Blitzcrank combo into a very painful high-range bot lane.
Yep.
Looks like we got some pings coming through onto the river. We do have Drywall Boxer bot side trying to salvage the situation before their health bars get too low to help out. Shambo is going to be looking for something. Flashes in with the E.
Missed tug. And they're not going to be able to do
Zero
anything
dropping low.
here.
Vi there for the counter, already level 5 as well. And yeah, that is going to kind of be a problem if you're Skarner here. Vi is a very good champion against you, and again, can clear pretty fast, get down to wherever you're going. Has not maybe not as good, but similar terrain scaling, similar engage range. But they're, they definitely do need to sort of keep playing through this bot side, trying to let their scaling hyper carry survive. As sure, Lance and Inferno here are mostly stable, falling a bit behind their counterparts. But I mean, this bot lane, we're looking at 26 CS on a late game hyper carry. you gotta get this guy some minions. Lance gonna get hit by Command Shockwave. Running low on mana, but those autos are gonna take him down. Got a bit greedy with his distortion.
Right.
And had no way out of that combo, unfortunately.
And that's one thing you can do in the
but
Orianna.
Drywall Boxer looking to follow up here. Oh, but a great flash by Rumble does mean Inferno lives instead of dying. Drywall Boxer looking to chase this down. Inferno looking for some KP as well. Gonna zone him away. Oh, but what a dodge! Oh my gosh, the Comet takes the turn kill on Inferno. I mean, you gotta wonder, like, I mean, he is Scion, so he still gets most of the reward for that play working out. And I do think he's now got to deal with a slow pushing wave back into the Rumble, as Vi can sort of threaten jungle here for free. Oh, and a kill, a trade kill coming through on the bot lane off of a Lancerman's roam. But yeah, this is sort of the problem with having priority in all 3 lanes. When you're the jungler and all 3 of your lanes are dead or don't have priority, you are forced to take matters into your own hands like this. She is gonna get out with
the
that
Vi
R
thing.
into Q and walk away with a pretty easy breezy red buff.
You know, the more I'm watching this, the more I realize I hate how Scion plays. I just don't like
You
this
wouldn't be the only
champion,
player.
man.
Lance looking for some chains. He gets the ult chain. I just don't know if they have the damage here. Shambo, oh, gonna hit a shockwave onto that clone. Gonna hit everything onto that clone. Bait him in as Drywall takes the scoop. Oh, but they just don't have the damage. Lance just doesn't have the health. All of his abilities are on cooldown. He's forced to actually flash out of his own jungler's engage there.
Very bloody game so far. 8 minutes in and 14 deaths already.
I will say, and already, unfortunately, as to be expected with a draft like this, a pretty big gold lead coming out for the GVU roster here. All of their lane bullies are bullying, as predicted. They're building big CS leads. They're taking deaths. EMU showing lots of signs of life, showing, you know, we are going to do what we can, but, you know, now we've got all 3 lanes kind of losing.
Right.
All of the carries on the side of GVU are coming online. It's going to get harder and harder for us if we don't make some of these plays go our way soon.
And this is the issue with a champion like LeBlanc mid. You need to be ahead in order to have any presence. And we're seeing
They're hitting some.
It's not the case this game.
But look at the Craig.
Oh my gosh, Shambo might be the best Blitzcrank NA. Maybe they can.
Caitlyn nails the clone with her ult. But yeah, they're here for the cleanup. This team just a bit too responsive. It is a bounty onto LeBlanc, but it's kills onto almost every member that needs them here on the side of GVU. And still, again, all of these plays poured into a bot lane, all just to have Zero still kind of stuck on this lower level, lower CS Yunara. Still really hard for him to survive and even CS under turret. Even after a lot of plays that look decently okay for Eastern, all things considered.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing as well, is like, even if it looks decently good, the way these players are able to capitalize off the tiniest mistakes is really showing here.
And for every play that Eastern has made thus far, almost without exception, GVU has gotten something in return.
Right.
Be it because the laner in a 1v2 picks up a kill on the gank, or more often because the castle here on Vi is just there to match the Skarner gank and has perfectly sufficient counter ganks with the Vi. Now with a full Sundered Sky, now has, you know, her ultimate. So it's getting much harder and harder for EMU to find angles. They're not going to stop. They're trying to cover for Zero, trying to hold someone under turret, but again, they just don't have the damage. Their guys are already dead. Everyone already has their items, and they're just going to pick up a nice, easy double kill and the full turret, which is exactly what you what you want to see from the. We can see the pings in the chat.
Right.
The dive killing Zero with his summoners up. I do see the Valiant holding it, but look at Inferno hitting in a crazy solo bolo. Took way too many turret shots there, and all of a sudden, Inferno's really in the driver's seat on this pretty tough pick. I am interested to see if that gives them a sort of Hail Mary in the mid game, you know, a time of the game where, maybe the only time in the game where Caitlyn might actually have a champion she struggles to kill for a second.
Yeah, and you know, now that I'm looking at it, Grand Valley, or sorry, is that their name?
Yeah,
Grandview
Grandview
is gonna have a is gonna have a pretty tough time killing the Scion, I think. I mean, if he's got the MR, Rumble and Ori can't really do much, and then Caitlyn and Vi aren't especially known for their ability to shred through tanks.
Yeah, Caitlyn will get there pretty soon, but this is sort of a classic Caitlyn problem where it used to be worse. She used to suffer from a bit of a power hole. But I think Eastern's main hope, especially as Zero proves he can't even really survive against solo lanes right now, so they got to take their plays elsewhere. Got to play around this Inferno because he got the kills. But look at Vi hitting the R and just dishing tons of damage with Sundered Sky, and all of the healing too, even through the silence. Yeah, they maybe can't kill Inferno very fast, but they can just ignore him and then 4v1 him later.
Right.
But he does have that wave clear, but they have the grubs. They've gotten every objective. They take down the turret. They take down Inferno. And that is going to be a big gold swing for their team. A really good setup, to be fair, by Grandview there. It seems like, you know, Eastern, they had the game plan. They tried to execute on it, but again, Grandview has seen it before. They've done it themselves, and they're just there to match. And they are there to pick up the kills.
Yeah.
And now look at the sort of deficit. Gets hit by another command shockwave, taking huge damage from an Ori, who's basically a tank with this Roa. Flashes through the chain. So again, even with this hit, they just won't have the damage. Drywall Boxer now stuck with no cooldowns against a bot lane who have swapped here to break open that last mid lane turret and swell that gold lead, probably to almost 10,000. Oh, but Shambo hitting a hook. I don't know if they really have the damage to do much here.
These hooks by Shambo this game, I must say, have been pretty immaculate.
Yeah, I will say the one good thing here is when you have a comp like Eastern's, the gold lead's a problem. It's almost 10,000. It's on characters that really like having a gold lead. They're not prone to wasting it. And Eastern's champions, especially some of them like we were talking about earlier, this LeBlanc, this Skarner, when he falls behind, he starts not feeling as tanky as he needs to be to function too. Without some money and XP in his pocket. Like, look how fast he melts and is forced to flash away here.
Yeah, and
Shambo and Zero are losing 2v1 to the Caitlyn. They just don't have the damage. They don't have the stats. They're up too much XP. And yeah, having a pick comp here can be nice. You have these bounties that are really worth hooking. If you hit a hook again on the Caitlyn at the wrong time, you could, you know, get a big cash out on a key player. Lance could come back off of that. But in order for that to happen, you need to be able to kill them.
Right.
And so here they're trying. Looks like they might even get one, but again, they're just too tanky. They've got the Echoes of Helia, it seems, on Karma, keeping Vi alive there. And the picks, you know, hooks are landing, dives are happening and getting countered, but they're just not translating into kills.
The picks aren't picking.
They're blowing summoners, but they're dying for it.
Yep.
And this whole time, you know, their bot lane hasn't even completed their call. Surely somebody gets to pick up this one. Zero picking up at least one kill. Oh, 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 oh! I want to see this fight on Caitlyn. It looks like they have another pick. Oh my gosh, a double! I think that's 2 shutdowns going the way of Zero on this Yunara. That is what you need, but it might be just too little, too late at this point. You look at the gold difference, you look at the CS, and it's like, yeah, those shutdowns maybe didn't even close the gap. And again, it's not just all of this gold you have to worry about. It's not just all of their turrets being broken open, which makes it really hard for a pick comp to, you know, get the vision control of even their own side of the map that you need in order to make picks on people. But they're spamming all in. They are not done fighting. They're going to look for one more play, hooking onto the Ori.
But Zero's just not here.
Zero's not here, and even if he were, that Ori's got like 2,000 health. They are just melting through Eastern. Lancer Mance here not gonna have enough damage to really do much of anything. Now both of the EMU carries just sort of have to watch as an almost full health team just runs into their base, locks them down with the VIR. Lancer Mance picks up one on the back, pads the stat a little bit. But I mean, LeBlanc isn't your wave clear champion here. LeBlanc and Blitz are good at making picks, hitting hooks. They are not as good at surviving dives and clearing waves. And Vi gonna go 10-1 as she knocks down Lancer Mance here. And
Hold on now, it might be 11-1.
I do think the fights are just too lopsided. EMU doesn't have the stats. They've got the passion, but they don't have the stats. Zero ulting forward to clear a couple more minions, it would seem. Trying to just do anything to survive, playing to the last hit of the Nexus, but that last hit is going to come through as GVU very comfortably take game 1 and alt F4 at the Nexus like they're playing solo queue.
Yeah, they even got a couple kills at the end there instead of hitting the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Ultimately, that was the kind of game we expected to see one way or the other. Those lanes were all very volatile, very high damage. Just ultimately, it was the sort of GVU draft with the more consistent bullies in their lanes that took those early leads they wanted, shut down the ganks that would have stopped them, right? And then ran away with just so much gold in their pockets the entire time. So even as an occasional Blitzcrank hook found us something, it wasn't enough gold. It certainly wasn't enough XP to make up for those kind of CS deficits. And, you know, ultimately, to my knowledge, this should also be Fearless draft. So I'm interested to see if the draft looks a little less, you know, 2v2 and 1v1 solo kill skewed. Because that game 1, you know, within the first 5 minutes, top lane had seen a solo kill, mid lane had seen a solo kill. Caitlyn allegedly died before we even saw the game. So, you know, I'm interested to see here if Eastern, you know, has some other champions that might be able to shake things up a bit.
Yeah. As interestingly, the sides have not swapped.
Yeah, EMU looking, yeah, still looking at red side here.
I guess
the same, repeating the same bands, but of course, again, I think it's Fearless. I didn't actually receive confirmation on that, but the playoffs before were, so I'd assume it wouldn't change.
it should be Fearless.
So it should be Fearless. And regardless, yeah, it looks like both teams opting for the same bans. I don't know that Eastern has ever let Shambo play Thresh, although I don't think it's because Shambo dislikes Thresh. They're getting the Teemo ban coming through. I mean, I have noticed that a lot of this draft has been trying to take generic lane bullies away from this top lane. I think maybe it's trying to play towards the game plan of, you know, letting Inferno build a lead against something a bit less murdery. But unfortunately, they found Rumble last game, a very good murderer. And, you know, top lane has no shortage of them. Going to ban away the same classic ones that they did last game. And we're going to see what GVU opts for here.
I think having the Inferno on the Scion is not something you want to see when he's such a strong player and he's just forced to sit back and play
Yeah,
tank
and I think
duty.
ultimately, you know, they had draft again trying to stop this guy from picking, like I said, a bully in the top lane. Speaking of bullies, looking for the long range Azir. They know now that Ori is off the table, LeBlanc is off the table. It's going to be a bit rough for Lance to cook up a pick into Azir, but boy, does he have one. Lance Romance Heimerdinger coming through for us. And, you know, I couldn't have asked for anything more for what could very well be EMU's final game of this season, of this semester. That I don't even get the joke. I don't even get the joke on this one. Now, granted, I don't know as much about Inferno's solo queue picks. They are going to be picking Victor, which is a reference to Grandview's mascot, who is a Viking named Victor. It's spelled the exact same. But unfortunately, Grandview has won this draft with the AD carry locking in Ashe, the Frost Archer, pairing with a Seraphine support. And they're saying, hey, what are you going to do now? You don't even have Yunara. You can't farm this out. You're going to have to try to hook this.
I believe.
And EMU is going to say, yeah, we hook stuff. Shambo likes to hook stuff. And there are more. It's more than just Blitzcrank. If they pick Pyke, I am going to throw up in my mouth a little bit because Nautilus is still there. That calmed me down.
I think Zeri is a pretty common counter to Ashe Seraphine, so I'm interested. To see
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know
I
as
haven't
much
seen
about
Zeri in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know much about Zero's pool, but again, I do think if I'm EMU here, I'm staring down an extremely long-range team comp that is very hard to deal with. If they get ahead, they're going to be able to siege everything without even trying. They're going to have so much range and poke. They have lots of wave clear. They have lots of... I mean, Seraphine, when she gets in a death ball with her team on her own, is already terrifying and feels impossible to fight. But, you know, you pair her with an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you pair her with a Zeralt, you can't share a screen with them at this point. So Eastern is going to really need to run away with this game with some insane Nautilus engages early.
I like that EMU's strategy here of picking Heimerdinger top. If you can't
I wonder,
beat him, join him.
I don't know. It might be Victor top as well. I think that actually might be more. I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell because Inferno does not play Heimerdinger. There's only one person, probably in this whole tournament, that plays Heimerdinger, and it's Lance. It's Lance.
Well,
but you know what?
I haven't seen. I think Inferno might be able to just play any jam.
He might just dong
at this point.
He might just dong it out. Like
he might pull a.
But yeah, so the big question mark here is AD carry. Yunara's off the table. I don't know what's going on. I do know that in the before times, Drywall Boxer was pretty renowned for his Ivern. Eastern was an Ivern school.
Right, I remember.
Zero was an Ivern player.
Yeah.
When he got bored of AD carry or, you know, feeding in top lane. And Steven was also, they were pretty competitive about it. They were, you know, racing each other in solo queue on Ivern. They were both like almost hitting Grandmaster, spamming Ivern. And they were like, nah, yeah, but you're worse at Ivern than me. Like there was always a... So honestly, still a bit of an open question as to whose Ivern that is. I don't know whose anything this is other than I'm pretty sure Shambo's the Nautilus.
Yeah.
And even then, this could be, I mean, it's up in the air.
I think I just heard something outside about full AP Nautilus.
I think the players are laughing and joking. They're all on comfort picks into what looks like an insanely strong draft with a Wukong, very consistent Wukong is here, Ashe Seraphine, and then a Cassante with quadruple ranged and a Nautilus. But Ivern does love having all these ranged characters on his team. He likes dropping Daisy and just having her run interference while they try to contend with all of these different carry threats and all of these Heimer turrets. So I'm going to say, I don't think I'm an experienced enough caster to even begin to commentate the kinds of team fights we're going to be watching.
Here, I'll
There's
tell you
going to
what
be a
happened
million
this
units
game.
on screen. Seraphine's going to be casting 2 spells for the price of 1. Heimerdinger's going to be putting down 4 turrets. Daisy's going to be there. You know? The Vayne might even be alive, for all I know. I don't know who's playing it. So, there, you know, if Eastern cooks up something here with... what is it? Is it Nautilus Heimerdinger? I just still don't know. We're not going to know until...
I'll tell you exactly what happened this game. Eastern said, look, these players are near gods at the game,
Yeah,
right?
they are
and we
very
can't beat them, so
we can't beat them unless...
need to throw in some entropy, make it a little interesting.
Well, honestly, though, weird draft aside, Heimerdinger pick aside, Vayne pick... Actually, I think the Vayne pick is honestly more egregious.
I
any of
couldn't
the
agree
other
more.
I don't know where I would put the Vayne in this game and feel comfortable other than the top lane. But if you do that, you have to play like Nautilus Mage into Ashe Seraphim, which I guess isn't as bad. But I mean, I just have to admit that like nobody else but Lance on this roster can play Heimer. I'm pretty sure.
All right, this is my prediction.
Okay.
Ivern top, starting off strong.
Okay.
Heimerdinger support. Vayne top. Nautilus jungle.
Yeah, I
Heimerdinger,
mean,
or
they've
the other one mid.
Look, if nothing else, this draft has flex picks on it. I don't know where they're flexing to. I don't know where they're flexing to because our draft, as you saw, it didn't have names for Eastern. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine as to who is going where, as to I don't know what runes we're going to see. I don't know what items we're going to see. There might be Magi's purchased. I mean, it's right. I don't know, guys. It's right behind my eyes. I don't. I don't know.
I think this could be a throwback to the 0 Ivern top lane.
I do remember that happening in a game of ours, like an actual match of ours in the regular season.
Yeah.
I do remember us winning. I don't remember him doing any damage. He might have proc pressed the attack once or twice. I hope it's not that, because I will say if they're playing this straight and their coach didn't just give up and tell them, "I'm hanging up. Do whatever you want," which is possible. Their comp does have some potential to it. I mean, they have playmaking potential. They have lots of damage. They have champions that are really hard to engage into,
on, right?
Which would be more relevant if, again,
there wasn't
wasn't so much range on the side of this GVU roster. But Azir's going to be kind of scared scooping these guys, at least, and Casante's melee adjacent. So if, the comfort picks end up working out and confusing them a little bit, Eastern might get some sort of unexpected leads that these kind of champions might struggle to come back from. I'm really interested, though. The real question mark to me, honestly, above... Because Ivern's, still a good jungle champion. Daisy and, his Q are still really powerful tools. And obviously he's got the Enchanter potential, too.
His clear is insane.
Yeah, and he's got insane clear. He's got, sort of non-conventional clears and, strategies he could go for to try to mess with this jungler. But really the question mark for me is Vayne. Because if you're a Vayne who, you don't have any wave clear, you're all single target, you don't have range when facing down something like an Ashe or a Seraphine or even an Azir. Where do you get to hit? When do you hit? When do you get to auto attack? In fights or otherwise?
Too. And I guess we're about to find out because
who's where?
Heading in.
0 is in the top lane as Vayne drywall boxers Ivern this time as Shambo and Lance lane bot, and they go for the cheese onto the Frost Archer. They hit that first hook.
Oh my gosh.
The Lance Romance gets the first
This
one.
is what I'm saying. This is what they need. Entropy.
That is entropy. We now know it is mid lane Inferno on the Victor as the Heimer Nautilus dukes it out.
Oh my gosh. Lance Romance in all chat. FF now.
And he was right. He was right.
So in my solo queue games, the easiest way for me to lose, I feel, is to create so much chaos that my brain can't comprehend what the correct play is.
Yeah.
And I think that might be what EMU is going for this game.
Yeah. Also worth noting, Cassante had to burn TP to get to this first wave.
Oh my gosh.
But look who has they've seen Ivern before. And yeah, EMU did not have the vision.
Why do we not queue to the Raptors?
Well, I mean, the result would have been the same
I guess
either
that's
way,
true.
because he would have just, Wukong was in the bush, so he would have just flown to it and then died. But yeah, this is going to spell a bit of disaster for Dropbox on the Ivern, because they read his clear. They said, we're going to stop you from verticaling our buff with your, Insta-Smite champ, and we're going to get your red, and we're going to kill you. So now you get one quadrant, as Lancer Man's put in a bit of a situation. They have the barrier. They don't have the sustained damage because they have a Heimerdinger. Shambo trying to get out, but you just can't run from Ashe. Try as you might. Lance is trying to play around his turrets. And they are going to escape, but the wave is rough for them. They're going to lose a whole wave for that. But he does have that kill to work with. The real question is, where does Drywall Boxer go? He knows Wukong got his red. He knows Wukong got his Raptors. It looks like he might be trying to get something here. He has properly assessed that there are still camps left for him in this top side. Now it's going to be a bit of a question mark how many he can get away with here. I know he's probably expecting Wukong to be coming up here, so he's just going to drop the ward and go play on this 0 teleport, 0 flash Cassante. Lancer Mance, level 2. Trying to keep this pile.
That Inferno is actually a mid lane main.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought he mostly swapped to top.
Yeah, it just now occurred to me. But yeah, he definitely has some experience in the mid lane, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do, actually.
Lance, really Romance, again, they're getting chased down by this Seraphine Ashe combo. But I mean, they're stable with the mage. Everyone's kind of got what they want. Ivern is strolling around with those lanky legs. And he's like, I don't know, I have a ranged top laner. We're going to get this guy.
They get the flash.
Get the flash. And honestly, I didn't even notice a Silico picked up in the mid lane. Lancer Mance picks up a kill on Ashe in the bot lane. Oh, and he picks up a double kill. This is the craziest game I've ever seen in my life.
I would love to see a face cam of the players right now.
Oh, God.
I'm so
Everything's
curious.
coming together. Even Zero is surviving in the Vayne Cassante matchup, trying to ramp up tempo. But look at the jungle difference here. Drywall Boxer doesn't actually have the flash to commit there. And yeah, definitely, it's the only person really suffering on the side of Eastern here is the Ivern. I cannot help but laugh every time the spectator client shows us the team flaming Zero with pings. It got me last game when they were spam pinging as summoners. It's getting me now. But Eastern is in the position I was kind of talking about. They got the leads on their mages. They have the Vayne comfortably farming up. The only person that Grandview has really been able to punish thus far is this Ivern. Everybody else is getting exactly what they want.
If I'm going to be honest here, I wasn't sure if I should come into it, but this game alone has completely flipped that for me.
This did make it worth it.
I would not have missed this for the world.
The fact that Shambo even threw that is criminally insane. Zero is gotta be kind of careful here. His health bar is not looking too good as the wave's coming into him, and this is sort of the one problem you run into with something like a Vayne as a ranged top laner. Is obviously, yeah, she can 1v1 tanks really easily once she gets going, but she doesn't have the range. Looks like they're gonna just push in Shambo and Lance, which is something that you very much want to try to do against Timer, but it's not always easy. But yeah, the Vayne, again, is going to struggle to clear those waves. So if you end up stacking up a decent one on her, she's very susceptible to die. She doesn't have a lot of tools. Oh, Shambo might have found something.
looking dead AF here.
It's a root. Lancer Mance is trying to get to this through the Ashe. They are playing it. Ashe forced to flash out. They're going on Shambo and Boxer. Inferno's also got the priority to walk down here. Looks like they're not going to do much more than, oh! Blow a flash. Couple skill shots going wide, yeah. Couple Qs going wide. But ultimately, Eastern still has what they want.
And that
leads
is
in the mid lane.
gold
Leads on the mages. Stability on the Vayne, if nothing else. And they just need Drywall Boxer to get, you know, some participation in a slightly better play in order to stabilize here.
It looks like Ashe might actually die here.
Yeah, they disrespected the Heimer. They weren't ready for it. And there's the grenade. Knocking it down. A 2v2 kill for Lance Romance Heimer. And they're going to make a counterplay on Inferno in the mid lane. Wukong picking up that kill. And now running into Drywall Boxer's jungle, which again has no protection. So he is, again, still very sad. Not really getting to do exactly what he wants. I am not remarking on the fact that it does appear Zero got solo killed.
Well, there's your remark right there.
And again, the Vayne was the one big question mark of this team. The bot lane, not a question mark for me anymore, as they pick up another kill. Enemy bot lane now 1-5. As once this starts happening in a lane against Heimer, this is what it looks like for an extended period of time. Is he sets up turrets right here, and you are stuck under turret, missing the odd CS for the next, I don't know, 10 waves. Even if the jungler comes down, it's very difficult to gank once you get this lead. But what is not difficult is diving Vayne, like I was talking about earlier.
I'm kind of interested to see how EMU is going to play this macro-wise. Are they going to go for these Drakes, or what they're kind of going to do there?
Yeah, I will say, with this kind of comp, they're really good at burning through neutral objectives with the champions they have. Right. Obviously, Heimerdinger is really all you need. And if now that with him being ahead and having the full Blackfire to Ashe's Rectrix and Greaves, I mean, there's definitely a potential there. It's not Eastern's preferred style, but you know, none of this game is. This isn't even their preferred roles for the best ability in the game. And just look at that CC chain from range.
Yep.
Not going to be able to survive that. And they did just secure the Void Grubs as well.
They did the thing.
So Eastern is going to look to make a play in reply with Daisy.
Luckily, Seraphine
they just
picked up
opened
that
up
kill.
bot lane. They just opened it up. They said, I don't know, man. I don't want to lane against Heimer anymore. I'm just going to recall and walk back the safe way. Oh, Daisy might have shown for a second there because they definitely want to make a play with Daisy on this bot lane as they return. So here they are. There's Daisy. Oh, and it goes wide. But you still want to stay here. Let Daisy smack them up a bit. Boom. And this is sort of running disruption. Drywall Boxer dropping low, though. They have too many slows. Azir's here to pick it up.
Oh, that's Azir. Oh.
And that, yeah, really unfortunate. Another dive being executed on Zero. Very easy for them. And look how far behind the Vayne is now. It's going to get really difficult for them to survive any lane. Because this is what I was saying. This is like I was saying, this is the big question mark. Even as Lance makes a big play on the Ashe here.
And the hook hit.
And he flashes in, hits a little. Lance Romance picks up one. Ignite picks up two. And this EMU new bot lane, new and improved, one would say, coming up to 7-1 with a 30 CS lead.
Kind of makes you wonder why they haven't been doing this the whole season.
Well, because when they try, the Vayne gets deleted out of the game. You can hear him screaming in this very facility on the other side of the room as Cassante solo stuns him into the wall and one-shots him.
No?
Oh, but it goes a bit wide. You just got to space a bit better. There you go. Try to get one CS here and there. Just try to survive. Ooh, gonna flash in and solo dive him again. I can see now why they were spamming top lane bans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sort of the off-road people are now getting uncomfortable here.
It just clicked why they banned Teemo. This was the plan from the start. Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
if this guy had gone Teemo, it would have been a mercy over what's happening instead.
I mean, that might be true.
Because
but
Teemo,
it's
you can
just
always gank and stop from doing this, but now at this point, they can't even do anything to the Cassante anymore.
connecting the dots
Until
in my
Lance
head.
starts cooking. Yeah, so the real issue now here is Eurovane trying to just scrape any CS and XP together against someone whom your autos kind of just heal. With that Warden's Mail and the Steel Caps, not only can you now not last hit, because you're getting dove every single wave, you're getting stunned every single wave. That was a 3-hit from Vayne, and
Wow.
it didn't do anything, so...
This
there
is,
you go. The health bar moves a bit, but again, every trade is going to go the way of this tank. And he's going to get dove again. Because Vayne can't do anything about this.
And it's
She
going to be
has
a
no
race
wave
for the
clear.
first tower here, it looks like.
EMU responding in kind. Lance trying out some more rockets. And they have, again, really good turret taking. But they don't have the grubs. And again, I do think the Cassante is really one guy you do not want getting fed here. Whoa, big R flash from the Seraphine here.
I don't get it.
Don't think, I mean, I think it
Forgive
was
me, but
to
I
look
don't get
cool. Yeah, I don't really get it either. Lance Hermance going legendary on Heimer. This is the only reason I got dressed and came here today, to be honest. Even as Castle making another winning play. Forced to burn the flash and the ult on Inferno's Victor here.
Wow,
Who
really
is
nice
somehow
movement
still
from
alive.
Victor.
Hits the E and actually chases them out. He's going to try to stay on this wave. Ash out of mana. This is very volatile. Hits
Wow.
one tick of the E, does not hit the follow-up. Ash baits with the barrier. I mean, this is just a battle of giants here. Everybody giving it everything they have. Even the Vayne that is getting spam pinged by his whole team. We're going to see if... I think at a certain point, you know, now that Lance is a full 2 items on this Heimerdinger, is there anything that can be invested into getting Vayne out of this situation?
I'm wondering at this point if your prediction of the Maji's purchase might have been right.
I think it might be a bit late because he would have already gone Dark Seal.
Dang.
I think Lance doesn't want to put up the risk of just losing a bunch of his stats to getting flashed on by these champions. Because ultimately, at some point, that's going to happen. And Heimer as a champion, like, you're the kind of champ that does get a lot of value in death in a lot of fights. So you don't want to disincentivize yourself from, you know, getting your turrets in position if they all flash on you, you know? So I can see Lance just opting for a more consistent strategy here as Inferno drawing a lot of aggro, really buying a lot of time, but getting chased off of even more minions himself, unfortunately.
Looks like he's going to be able to get out.
Yeah, they're letting him go. Lance picking up his second turret of the game here. Really massive for Eastern to open up this sort of bottom quadrant of the map.
And this
I'm wondering
is
if
the
they are
first
now
dragon.
they're maybe looking towards Dragon. I don't know. It's been a while. Iron seems to say no, but I don't know what their win condition is other than Heimer gets to 15 kills.
GVU's bot laner just asked for a 1v1 top lane with Zero.
I did notice that they're playing together. I don't... Does Zero have a Phage?
Yeah. He's got a Phage and Berserker's Greaves.
And this is the 1v1 that Zero was promised. I mean, this guy is putting up a pretty classic Zero top lane performance. I know he's on an 80 carry champion, but it looks different. The bot lane's saying, all right, guys, we've already taken the turrets. The Vayne's already died 5 times. We got to start playing dragons to threaten some kind of win condition here. Lance getting that extra tempo too from the reset as he has to try and stem he has to go plug all of the holes left by his Vayne. Now coming up on 30-40 CS down. building, and I just don't know what his items are either. I don't know much about Vayne Top. Maybe this is what Vayne Top's build, where it's like Trinity Force, Sundered Sky, and then you go like the lethality build that tries to one-shot with like the Qs. I've seen that. It does have a Trinity Force and a Sundered Sky in it.
Does it?
But I don't think it's a real build, so I don't know. And wait, but there's something that builds out of both Phage and Tunneler, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe, what is that?
Triforce.
Triforce has a Tunneler? I don't think Triforce has a Tunneler.
Oh.
Hexplate for the ult? Maybe, yeah, okay. Well, we'll never get to find out because this is the kind of team fight that Eastern might be looking for. Daisy running interference, punching everybody.
Shambo goes wide.
Oh, the Lance gets hooked in. Or no, runs in off the queue. It ends up being a 0 for 1. Nobody really dying. Inferno still has all that wave clear though. Ooh, Lance hits a big one! What a combo from the Fog of War to go to 9-0 here on this Heimerdinger, and he wants more blood. He's coming around the flank, playing hyper aggressive on this Heimerdinger. Ooh, the R flash hits his flash, but
look at that Heimerdinger
doesn't
damage.
do a whole lot. I mean, this is, I feel like I've seen this before. I've seen Lance put up the performance of a lifetime and then Zero just not making it happen. I am hoping that he's able to claw his way back in. Did finish that Hex plate to hopefully give him, I guess, a little more survivability with the, you know, the extra HP and the alt move speed. He's just, I mean, I guess he just needs his ults up as often as possible as a survival tool. That stealth is a really huge piece of utility for Vayne. Yeah, we're sort of seeing how our lead translates here into battling Cassante. Condemns him out. Look at this damage. He's pumping. He's pumping. I think he maybe got Cassante to 79% health there, if we're being generous.
I think that's very
And that was
generous.
before Seraphine cast her Echoes of Helia proc, which she still has. So he was technically actually still full. Another redemption arc is on the table for Zero here. In their series against Ball State, they faced a comp similar to this with a very powerful Seraphine with Echoes of Helia and, you know, a Conqueror jungler and all of this. And he bought Lord Doms instead of Mortal both games, and nobody had wounds. So he has 2 redemption arcs here. He can, well, stop feeding is the first one. And the second one is he could buy Grievous wounds. Lance is probably a better applicator this game. So is Inferno. But
I mean, when you have somebody like Lance,
ooh, Seraphine hitting a big ult, ends up only landing on the Shambo, who is more than happy to take this engage all the way to the bank. He and Daisy are just in 2v5 and not quite going to pick up the kill. Or are they? Seraphine does not go down to the Ignite. Lance trying to preserve his actually non-existent bounty. He does not have a bounty.
Thank goodness.
Does not have a bounty, but he knows that he needs to stay alive or so many structures are going to fall to this GVU roster. He's going to pick up another one.
Wow.
Big bounty picked up onto the Cassante. That was the only person we needed to see.
As
Can we
Zero
kill
goes down
Cassante?
again.
We have our answer. Yes. Zero. I'm not touching that.
You know.
I'm not touching that. I will say he's still only down 40 CS. So it hasn't gotten significantly larger. He's down, yeah, he's down 3,000 on his opponent. He's very poor. He's slightly poorer than Shambo's Nautilus here. But to be fair, Shambo's Nautilus, maybe if he had gotten to lane with Lance's Heimerdinger, he'd have a bunch of assists too. You know, it's impossible to say. He didn't get to do that. He had to just 1v2 Cassante and Wukong all game, so it's impossible to say. Worth noting, Cassante now teleporting to this, and we have a Ghost 80 carry as our top laner. So now Lance is in the kind of situation you don't really want to be in here. Getting picked out, getting knocked up. Oh, hooked by the Cassante and taken down. Oh, Zero does have, oh right, yeah, no, he's got it unleashed. But again, the big damage already died. Do they have enough damage here? Zero. Look at the Inferno ult though. Dropping them really low, but they just don't have enough. So heartbreaking for the Lancer Mansheimer. He does now have a full death cap. No way, Zero. No way. He gets chased down there too. Oh, and a double kill onto this Wukong, who is now coming up very threatening.
I'm surprised we're not seeing Bloodletter's Curse on either Victor or Heimerdinger here.
Well, I mean, if you're hitting tab from them, the only real MRs, I mean, now Force of Nature just came through for Cassante, so that's going to be an issue.
Well, yeah, but they're both building belated jewel items, so neither of them are building
no Bloodletters, yeah.
Bloodletters.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe even like Nautilus would be allowed to go like an Abyssal Mask or something to help out.
Hopefully. And, I mean, maybe even Ivern at this point goes Bloodletters. That might be.
Yeah, I mean, Dixie's Autos do magic.
Yeah.
They are trying to sneak a Baron, except it's not really a sneak because... Wait, but it looks like it's going to work. Inferno's got the zone control. Their jungler isn't here. Look at the speed. Baron natural falls to EMU. Oh, but they're going to respond in kind, take down Shambo. But we have Baron. They're trying to chase it down, deny us some of these buffs. We have 4 Baron buffs now.
In a complete
the only one that we
events.
don't have. I mean, that's what you need a Heimerdinger pick to do is knock the turrets over the blast cone and cheese the Baron. And they actually fell for it. Ash, looking at the Wit's End second item here, just trying to survive anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. Although I feel like Ash might...
Zero dropping the R draft in the all chat. It's not BO5. Ooh, that's a good chirp. That is a good chirp. Ao Jun on the Azir. Ao Jun? I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, buddy. But the Azir says, buddy, you know dang well we're winning this game. There isn't going to be a draft. Oh, but look at the kiting. Look at the move speed. He's out of his ult duration. Unfortunately, he is going to fall to these incredibly powerful bruisers.
But we've got 3 pushing top. I
yeah,
mean,
they
threw
have
pressure.
the Baron. They have the pressure. They're knocking turrets.
Zero might have made a 1v9 death play just now.
Yeah, he pulled them pretty far from their wave. And again, they're trying to make picks on our Baron ultimately. And now look what it's going to get them all of a sudden. Oh, where did he go?
My God. That is a 13-1
That is some serious
Heimerdinger.
damage. He used his R stun and just blew that guy up. Which is, again, I mean, Eastern, maybe not as powerful of a Baron play as you would want, given that Zero died maybe a bit faster than intended. But, I mean, they've got the turrets. The gold is even with a 0 and 8 top laner, who is now, you know, starting to come up on 60 CS deficit as well. It's just, where can he find anything?
Well, hopefully as the game progresses, he'll be able to pick up some more items and scale up as Veins do.
Yeah, and now a more proper siege, you know, underway here. GVU trying to stop it. A big encore finds almost the entire EMU roster there. Inferno going to go down. Shambo going to get hooked by the Cassante. And now Heimer's all on his lonesome. Drops the R. But look at the healing from the Wukong. Look at the scoop from the Azir. Oh, and the Zanyas too. And that is a huge play for the side of GVU. All of these giant heals coming through as well. I'm getting flashbacks of a very fed Lance just not quite getting the kills. The Wukong barely surviving there. The Azir barely surviving there. And guess what? Eastern doesn't have any Grievous wounds. So it is a healing diff. Zero trying to take a camp. Looks like he is going to get one shot. He just leash it for the Azir.
Yeah,
and his champ just can't do anything. He built a sort of more defensive Vayne build, but on most carry champs, and honestly, on most champs in League in general, defense is usually a little more powerful when you're ahead. I think if you're a Vayne getting chained over, Hexplate's not actually going to save you. A second phage isn't going to save you, right? You're going to get one shot. You're going to get cutscened. It's all going to be in knockups and stuns.
Well, that's
you need
what
to
I'm
get a strong
thinking.
one-item spike. You just need to get, like, Bork or Rage Blade if you're an on-hit, or, like, you know, a lethality or a crit item. Or, you know,
that
something.
Voltaic Cyclosaur build.
Yeah, I don't think that would do much to Cassante, of course, a lethality build. But again, any build that, like, is just higher damage, so you can actually threaten people, at least with your team there running cover for you. Because now, look, they're making another play onto Zero's Vayne, and he just doesn't have the wave clear. His champion has nothing, and he also doesn't have any damage.
I mean, yeah.
So Lance is trying to match the push, but look, they've already made the play onto this Vayne. Oh, but he's actually going to survive, force the flash at least out of the Wukong. And GVU threatening the end very fast with these grubs. Lance not yet recalled. Look how fast they're ending. They're playing right for the Nexus. Lance is going to come try and save it. Going to come try and put the ult down, but it's Seer. Hits the big ult. Everybody gets onto Lance. His turrets are not doing enough, and EMU is going to fall.
Yeah,
0-2
just a really rough game.
to the
I mean,
Grandview Vikings.
it's hard because there's so many things you need to buy.
You should definitely come back here for an interview, bro. We have a very suspiciously clean-shaven head. Oh no, that's just receding. My bad. Poking his head in forehead post. Interview.
All around the board. Sorry, I don't know.
Well, yeah. Let's get you a.
All right. So MVP of the match here. My name is 01, something like that.
And what role do you play for EMU?
Oh, so I'm the top laner now.
And how long have you been playing top lane for EMU?
Approximately 37 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, needless to say, we're going back to the top lane. We must practice that Vayne pick again. I think it had some very good priorities there.
Yeah. How do you think? Was it just the draft that was the problem for it?
Yeah, there's a good possibility that I know what the taste of Wukong's staff is right now in my mouth.
Which is interesting because that's not where he put it.
I could. It was omnidirectional.
Yeah, I find that very easy to believe.
Yeah.
We are looking at the charts here. Look at that damage.
I did
11,000.
I did outdamage Shambo. It was a pretty good showing, honestly.
I don't
You
think
know
did
what?
you have more gold
you
than him or no?
You
No.
outdamaged the Ivern, you outdamaged the Nautilus,
Probably not. No.
So I mean,
you outdamaged the Seraphine. That's a win.
Yeah.
I think that's a win.
Honestly, I didn't go 0-10. This could have been worse.
Yeah, they
I
ended.
might have
Yeah, I
lost
mean that's
tower
just because
in
they
8
ended
minutes,
faster.
But hey, at least
than
it
I
was that
thought.
17-minute game again.
It
So
was
did you
not.
talk? Did you talk to Lance after that game at all? Did he have anything
yeah,
to
Lance
say?
should have carried that game, but he couldn't. So we had,
Yeah,
we had
it
some
was
beef going on
definitely-
in comms.
It's worth noting the spectator client shows us pings.
We should have.
It shows us pings in all chat, by the way.
I'm assuming you saw some of the Shambo pings that game.
Yeah.
I saw Shambo pings. I think I saw a couple of
We should have vertical topside. I don't know what to say. We should have vertical topside. We should have perfectly ganked, spam ganked top lane with mid. Shambo should have
You say
went
this
top
as
as well.
the
entire game.
experienced top laner of EMU, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, on a more serious note, was that your last game with this EMU roster?
This EMU roster, yes, that was in fact the last game. We will unfortunately not be having the Lance Romance as well as the Drywall Boxer returning next year.
Are you? But you'll be returning to play top lane.
I hope to God I'm not returning to play top lane.
I think. Well, I mean, with a performance like that,
It could
I
be
have
worked
to
on.
assume you dodged it.
I've heard Shambo is practicing a lot of top lane in solo queue recently.
Yeah. But I mean,
heard he hit gold with it, so we have a chance possibly.
pretty crazy send-off game for
Nice.
Yeah.
the leaving players at least. They got to play their iconic picks against
Yep.
seemingly all challenger team.
Yep.
I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, they were on average, I think, 1,000 LP up on each one of us.
All right, well,
So
dropping any kills was a victory. So Lance really got a lot of victories there in that second game.
I don't think their bot lane is prepared for that Heimerdinger pick in the slightest. I think I pressed tab at like 4 minutes, and Lance was 3-0, so that was kind of interesting.
I also noticed that this game.
It was a pretty good time. It was a pretty good time.
Either way,
I was also 0-3 at that point. No, actually, I don't think I died until like the 6-7 minute point. So
yeah, it took you a second. It took you a second.
And then I think I died on repeat every 60 seconds. I spent a good time in the gray screen. I kind of liked it.
That is sort of the folly of Vayne
I thought I was going colorblind a little bit.
We were discussing in the draft.
I forgot I had Ivern jungle low key. I thought we had a Wukong jungle, but no, I think I was just seeing double.
Yeah, there are 2 of them. Yeah, so that you do run into that problem. The Vayne definitely, I do think, was sort of our big question mark for that draft. Where we were worried if they get dove once.
Not the Heimerdinger?
No, because Heimerdinger Nautilus is real and worked.
Okay.
You know, it did also take us a second to figure out who was going where, but it was a very exciting match either way, all things considered.
They didn't even ask where we were going; they just sent it.
Yeah,
I could tell that their ass was getting very tilted by the her just abandoning lane halfway through the game.
Yeah,
that was
she did
interesting.
just leave to go mid.
Did it do anything? Yeah. Did the game slowly get worse from that point? Yeah. We did get a dragon. We did get the Baron. We took a Baron off Grandview. That's all that matters in the end.
You took a Baron. I think one of your players literally went legendary without getting a bounty, so you did that for him, if nothing else.
Yeah.
But honestly, all things considered, Vayne performance aside, it was very good. Very fun season to watch from you guys.
It will not be my last Vayne performance.
I am looking forward.
I'll leave it on that high note.
To many more.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much for coming out and playing Vayne for us. Wow. What an inspiring roster. Very excited to learn. 09. Yeah,
well,
I saw.
He had the
we
one
were there.
assist too. Don't forget.
Wait,
did you?
Shambo, did you see your gold? Did you know it was higher than his at the end? That is gonna, I think, do it for us if I'm not mistaken.
We might go into the roster again, or sorry, schedule.
Yeah, we'll reiterate our schedule here. Again, that was it for Eastern, closing it out against Grandview there. But we still have Valorant coming up against Winthrop and Smash Bros against UT Dallas, and then about a week later we have EMU Overwatch playing Western Michigan, and much more beyond that as we look to close out the semester. And I am looking forward to seeing what the EMU Esports program cooks up from here.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some more exciting broadcasts that look a little bit like this one. Maybe not exactly the same, maybe a little better.
I'm excited for tomorrow. Those April Fool's changes are my favorite time of the year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they do those. Yeah, I'm excited to see. Maybe that's what we got today, was a little sneak peek at April Fool's competition.
Spoiler alert.
But still, thanks everyone for watching this incredible team and this incredible season. And until next time, Eagles out. Fly, Eagles, fly.